Melissa, if there was a question you could ask someone from another race outside of your own, that you want to ask, but you sometimes are worried that even asking the question might be offensive, just in the asking of it, what would one of those questions be, and to whom would you ask that?
Well, so I was trying to think of questions about like how dominant culture tries to combat this polarization that has happened historically and like very dramatically in most recent events. And I know something that we talk about like in a lot of classes I've taken is where like white dominant culture has appointed colored people in leadership positions, and how that's not really effective in saying like, oh, Barack Obama is a black president and therefore we're not a racist society. And I guess my question, right, exceptionalism, right, I couldn't think of the word. And how it's like, oh, okay, well, if we have people of color in power, obviously we're doing a good job, right? And my question for people of color would be, I mean, how do they feel about that? Is there pride in having a black president? How do they open those discussions saying, hey, that's not really what we're looking for, is having one person of color in power? And what kind of is the correct way to then correct that? Like, what kind of, if that's like dominant culture's poor attempt at not being a racist culture, I mean, what's the right way to do it?
That's a great question.
So that's kind of what I've been like grappling with lately, is, and especially with a lot of the things about police brutality, because what's hard for me is thinking about people of color who are on the police force and how it must feel for them to defend their career as a police officer, but then also recognize among their ethnic and racial communities that they are part of an institution that is very racist and like racially charged. And so another example of, so we have police officers who are people of color, that doesn't mean that the police force is not a racist institution. And how do we reconcile that?
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thanks, Melissa.